Alice and I send you our warm greetings, and we hope to meet up with you in person in the not too distant future. I've been asked if I could share with you my passion for Christian meditation. It's been a great help to me over the years. I've been a meditator now for about 17 years, and I try to meditate each morning and each evening for about 20 minutes. And you might find that you have a bit more time at home now, and it might be the ideal moment to learn to meditate yourself. So I hope this little talk may give you some impetus into trying out Christian meditation for yourself and see how it goes. As children, we are taught to pray for ourselves and to pray for each other and for the world. But these are head prayers and they're very important. But also we need to learn to pray with our heart, to listen to God. And this is where meditation comes in. Christian meditation is known as the prayer of the heart. And as we meditate, we sit still in silence. We allow the Spirit within us to talk to us, not through our head, but through our heart. One of the things I found out when I started to meditate was how busy our head is all the time. And most of the time, it's not in the present moment. We're thinking about things that have happened in the past, or we're thinking about what might happen in the future. And what I have been told is that over 90% of our thoughts that we have are repeated the same every day. We have the same thoughts, 95% of them, the same every day. And some of these thoughts might be pleasant, particularly things that have happened in the past that have given us joy. But often our thoughts take us to places that lead us to worries. And one of the reasons for getting stressed is when we're not living in the present moment, but we are anticipating something that may happen in the future. And our mind keeps going round in circles and getting us more and more stressed. And the important thing to remember is that these thoughts are not normally truth. In fact, these thoughts don't help us very much in our day-to-day living. What is important is that we try and live our lives in the present moment, not thinking about the past or the future, but just trying to live the moment as well as we can. And you may have noticed this yourself during this time when we have spent longer indoors and perhaps had a little bit more time. We may have been aware how our thoughts are jumping ahead of how things might be in the future. But the trouble with this is that we're not actually living now. And this is how meditation can help us. As we've seen, stress is caused often by not being in the present moment and allowing our mind to create stories in our head that are not truth. But another obstacle to Christian meditation is our ego. The ego is never content with the present moment. It always thinks that the next moment is going to be more interesting. We've all been in a situation where we've been looking forward to an event to take place. Perhaps we're on holiday and we go up at the top of a mountain to look at a wonderful view, and no sooner than we're up there, then our head's wondering what we're going to be eating for dinner. And the same happens when we meditate. Our ego will start thinking that it's a waste of time sitting down, being still for 20 minutes and simply repeating a prayer word, a mantra. It will be saying to you in your head that you could be doing something more productive, more useful, and meditation itself has no benefit. Despite what our ego is trying to tell us, meditation is as natural to the Holy Spirit as breathing is to the body. And although we won't seek to get any benefits from meditating, we will find over time that there are fruits that do appear. We find that we are beginning to live more in the present moment. We find we don't get as stressed about things as we used to. We find that we are beginning to grow more in love because we are removing the attention from ourselves and they are more able to see the needs of other people. And this is because we're opening our hearts up to the power of the Holy Spirit within us. And we begin to discover that truth doesn't come from our thinking mind, but from the promptings of the Holy Spirit within us. In fact, what we're doing is making time to listen to God. Some people ask whether Christian meditation actually is something new, but in fact it goes back to the earliest Christian times. The desert fathers and mothers in the 3rd and 4th century used to meditate, and there has been a tradition of meditation since then, although lost a little in the West. But we're now beginning to rediscover this form of prayer that's so important to our Christian life. Now we come on to how we meditate. It goes without saying that if we can, we find a room where we won't be disturbed, and if possible, to try and meditate in the same place and at the same time. It's also helpful if we can sit on a chair that has a straight back. So we sit straight on the back of the chair with our head straight, looking ahead, our hands comfortably in our lap and our feet firmly on the ground. And the idea is that during the period of meditation we don't move from that position, and we will find that our body will constantly want to distract us. We want to itch, we want to move our foot, we want to shake our head. But just see those as distractions and try and remain perfectly still. By doing this, it helps us to rest our mind. Now, if I've told you to not think for 20 minutes, it would be impossible. So what we do is we use a prayer word, a mantra. And the mantra that we suggest to use is the Aramaic word Maranatha. It's the language of Jesus and simply means "Come Lord." And we repeat it interiorly in our mind. Maranatha. And after a few seconds, if that, our brain will go on to a thought. The important thing is not to run with that thought, but just let that thought go and go back to saying that prayer word. And the idea is for the 20 minutes just to continually repeat the word Ma, Ra, Na, Va. And it may be for the whole of the 20 minutes, all we're doing is constantly moving our mind back to saying the prayer word. And this can be an obstacle for people because they meditate once or twice and they find that they constantly have a head full of thoughts all the time, barely spending any moment in the present moment, so they give up, thinking meditation isn't for them. But just because your mind is constantly full of thoughts and you're pulling it back to saying the prayer word, doesn't make that a bad meditation, because meditation isn't done in the head, it's done in the heart. And as I said before, the ego will tell you that it's a waste of time. But just sit still, perfectly still, say your mantra, and don't expect anything to happen, and changes will take place. So how to meditate again? We sit down. We sit still and upright. Close your eyes lightly. Sit relaxed but alert. Silently, interiorly, begin to say a single word. We recommend the prayer phrase Ma, Ra, Na, Tha. Recite it as 4 syllables of equal length. Listen to it as you say it, gently but continuously. Do not think or imagine anything spiritual or otherwise. If thoughts and images come, these are distractions at the time of meditation. So keep returning to simply saying the word. Meditate each morning and evening for between 20 and 30 minutes. Well, that's the end of our introduction to Christian meditation, and I hope you found it helpful. If you want more information, please contact me, Jeff Waterhouse. My details can be found on the Putney Methodist website under meditation, or Google WCCM UK, where you'll find a whole load of information. Goodbye from me, peace and joy, and keep safe.